VOCALOID.
In this lesson, we're going to go over 3 tips for creating better music with VOCALOID 5. And just so you know, everything I'm doing in this video is using a project that I've saved and is available for you to grab for yourself, to download, open up. You can follow along with everything I'm doing, dive in, learn everything you need to know about this session, use it for your own music, have fun with it. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing may seem like a really simple thing, although it's really important, and that is choosing your singer. If you've never used VOCALOID 5, you may open this up. You may think, I have a digital singer. Anything I write, any notes I write, whatever I do, it's gonna sound the same, it's gonna feel the same. Not true. We have a lot of singers to work with, and they all sound different. And choosing one that works for your own music will definitely make a big difference. And I'll show this to you right now. This is a vocal part that I created.
I'm a mess now. Hey, got me falling in my rain now. Julie on my side, police beat now, I know.
Now, I could change up the singer by choosing voice. And I have all these different singers to work with. For example, I have Amy.
I'm a mess now. Hey, got me falling in my rain now.
You can hear it's playing the same exact thing it was playing before, same notes, same melody, same lyrics, although the singer sounds different. So we have a different voice to work with. We got Chris.
I'm a mess now. Hey, got me falling in my rain now. Julie on my side, police beat now, I know.
Cyber Diva 2.
I'm a mess now. Hey, got me falling in my rain now. Julie on my side, police beat now, I know.
Cyber Songman.
I'm a mess now. Hey, got me falling in my rain now. Julie on my side, police deep now, I know.
I got my Maknae Nana. Oh, she's so cute.
I'm a mess now. Hey, got me falling in my way now. Julie on my side, pulling deep now, I know.
And I got my boy, Fukase.
I'm a mess now. Hey, got me falling in my rain now. Julie on my side, police beat now, I know.
So you can hear these all sound completely different from each other. I really like Fukase right now. For this specifically, Fukase never does me wrong. And that doesn't mean I'm always going to use him for everything I do. There's cases where Amy sounds great. There's cases where Chris sounds great, where I use Cyber Diva or Cyber Songman, any of these. And depending on the vibe you're going for, the melody you're choosing, the lyrics you're writing, can totally change up depending on the singer you choose for this. So definitely think about the voices you're choosing, the singers you're using, and it'll definitely play a big role in whatever you're creating with your music. Tip number 2, a big thing is pitch changes and using pitch changes with a dash. What I mean by that is this. You can see right here I have this melody, so this vocal part.
I'm a mess now. Hey, got me falling in my rain now. Julie on my side, police beat now, I know.
So there's a lot of pitch changes going on. When I say pitch changes, I mean these notes dipping down to other notes. For example, you can see this little dash that I have over here. I'm going to move this back up. And that vocal line, instead of dipping down to a lower pitch, it's going to stay on that note. So the word A, when it says it's going to stay on that same pitch.
I'm a mess now.
I can actually bring this one up too. So and mess are going to stay on the same pitches.
I'm a mess now.
Nothing wrong with it, although it sounds a little flat. There's not too much movement going on. So what I could do is really draw on these little dashes, and that dash is going to extend the vowel to another note, and I can move that note wherever I want. And it's a really, really simple and easy way to change the pitch of essentially bending the pitch of a single note, but I get to choose exactly where it's going. Really nice trick.
I'm a mess now.
And you can see I do these all over the place. And in case you're wondering how I do it, I simply draw on a note, I write in a dash, and then I can put that wherever I want, and it's going to create a little pitch bend. I go up.
A mess now.
I could go down.
I'm a mess now.
I could go super far down.
I'm a mess now.
Or I could bring it back to where we were.
I'm a mess now.
And yeah, you can see I draw these in all over the place. Sometimes I have a dash and I'll move it around just to see if it sounds good. If it does, I'll keep it in that place. But there's other places where I have a dash and it's not moving anywhere. That most likely means that I tried it out and it didn't work, so I just kept it where it was. And it didn't change the way it sounds, so I just kept it there. So it's a nice little thing that you could try out. If it works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, just leave it the way it is. And nobody will ever know. And it sounds great. Tip number 3, voice color automation, drawing, whatever you want to call it, using the voice coloring. And what I mean by that is jumping in to the style, going to customize, and you can see I have this voice color over here and focusing specifically on air because air could be a little intense. So here's it before I apply anything.
I'm a mess now.
Now I'm going to put the air all the way up and you're going to hear it sounds like Fukase is whispering.
I'm a mess now. They got me falling in my rain now. Julie on my side, please be it now. I know.
And I could go somewhere in the middle.
I'm a mess now.
So you could hear, I got this whisper, I get the normal voice, and I get anywhere in between. And here's a misconception. Many people think this is really all you have to work with. You have this little fader over here, you drag it up and down, and it either sounds kind of whispery or it doesn't sound, you're kind of stuck with what you have. Well, that's not true. We have over here, if you jump into the musical editor, you could open up this little switch, and you can see over here it says air. Now, what I could do is draw in all these movements. And see this little blue line going up and moving back down? That's something that I drew in with a pencil tool. And what that's doing, for example, say this blue line is going up and it goes back down. So what that means is I'm essentially taking this fader that says air and I'm moving it up and I'm moving it back down and I'm doing it exactly when I want it to happen with Fukase's voice or whatever singer I'm using at the time. So going back to it, this is what it sounds like.
I'm a mess now.
So I'm going to delete all of these.
I'm a mess now.
Here, it sounds pretty clean.
I'm a mess now.
You can hear when I turn it back on, it's like
I'm a mess now.
at the very beginning where he says I'm, instead of it being ah, it's more of a ha. You get a little breath in there. Same thing when he says now. At the end of the word now, you get more of a breath sound in there.
I'm a mess now.
It sounds natural. It has this emotion to it. It's a really, really nice feature to start using. And it's really nice to know that you don't only have to go and put that fader up and you're kind of stuck with that. You get to draw these in, you get to move it with the voice, and it's a super helpful thing to do. You could hear I do it over here as well with the word side.
Julie on my side.
Here it is without the air.
Julie on my side, please. Julie on my side. Julie on my side. Julie on my side.
Here it is with the air.
Julie on my side.
Isn't that cool? It's like you get to choose exactly when the breath comes out, and it feels really nice. And as far as tips go, here's a little tip. I'm not really throwing this in randomly whenever I want to just add breath to it. In this case, I'm focusing more on the vowel sounds, you know. I'm, it's more of the ah sound at the beginning of the word. When they say now, I'm not really focusing so much on the end sounds, I'm focusing more on the ow sound, you know, those rounder sounds. Really, any sound that you imagine somebody would have more breath on, you could add it more on those points. And you could play around with it. You know, I'd start bringing it up and bringing it back down. If it sounds strange, I'll edit it and kind of fix it around until it sounds right. And it's a really nice thing that you should try adding to music because it sounds really great. And letting you know, this isn't only for air. It's really for any of the things that you see in this menu over here. So when this is open, you can see this velocity, dynamics, pitch bend, exciter, growl, breathness, you know, all these things that are also in this menu where it says voice color over here. Well, it's not a menu, but where these faders are. You could essentially control all of these faders by choosing any of these options here and then drawing in any movement you want. You can actually see I've done this on a few. Like, for example, mouth. I brought a few of these down a bit to change up the sound. On character, I made this little bump over here.
On my side, please be it now, I know.
You know, I wanted to bring more of a higher pitch kind of sound to that one little part. So I did that. And you could do that with any of these. And it's a really, really, really nice trick or tip or technique, anything you want to call it, to add to your music. All right, that's it for these tips. And just so you know, this project is available for free download. Head over to the Vocaloid website to pick it up for yourself. And right now, Vocaloid 5 is having a big sale for the 3rd anniversary. 3 years of Vocaloid 5 happening right now. Jump in while you can and enjoy.